If you're watching this video, chances are that you don't think you're that good in social settings. Or maybe it's just been a while and you're looking to brush up on some skills. Today I'm going to give you guys 4 tips that help me go from being not that great socially to someone who I feel now can make a conversation with anybody at any time. These are some tips that I feel like are very practical and can be put into use pretty quickly. And these are the things that actually I did that helped me. So it's coming from first-hand experience. So let's get right into it. First tip is to get out of your own head. If you're struggling with social situations or just not being very social, chances are majority of it is just in your head. You know that saying when it comes to lifting weights and working out? They say 80% is actually the food and 20% is the weights. Same thing with social skills. 80% is actually what's in your head and 20% is only about the talking. The talking part is actually not the hard part. It's the getting out of your own head that can be challenging. Now, ways to overcome this are realize, number one, that nobody actually cares about you as much as you think. When you're talking to other people, they don't care about the small things as much as you think they do. When I was struggling with social anxiety and being scared to talk to people, I would always overthink oh my god, is this person looking at how my face looks? Oh my god, does this person notice that I looked away for 5 seconds? Oh my god, does this person notice that I can't hold eye contact? Oh my god, does this person notice what I'm doing with my hands? I don't know what to do with my hands. Where do I put my hands? And this whole time that this person was talking to me, I'm not even really paying attention to what they're saying. I'm just so in my head thinking about what they think about me. And I'm thinking that I'm awkward and weird and I can't do this social situations. But the key is to realize that most people are not going to pick up on any of those tendencies and not really notice anything. Now, one thing that actually seems weird but actually helped me for getting over these type of things is to record myself in my own house. So what I would do a few years back was I would set up a camera or set up my phone and record myself talking into the camera and just have a regular conversation. So what I do is just think about a setting, maybe okay, we're at a bar, I just met somebody new, how am I gonna talk to them? And so I would say what I would say, but then I would take a pause, and in my head, I would respond back with what they would say, but I wouldn't say that part out loud. So I'd only say my part out loud, and then I'd pause, think about what they would say, and then respond back out loud. Now this seems like doing the most, and seems like, oh, I'd never want to do that, that's awkward, that's something only some loser would do, right? But once you get over that and you actually do it, this helps a lot because it helped me get out of my own head by realizing that when I recorded myself and I was having these conversations that, oh, I actually don't look awkward at all. I look completely normal. No, it doesn't look weird when I look away for 0.2 seconds, then bring back my eye contact to the person I was talking to. Oh, my face actually looks completely normal. Where my hands are look completely normal. So I realized I actually have nothing to worry about, because when you're talking to someone in real life and you're worried about all these things, you can't see how you look. Only that person can see how you look. But by recording yourself, you can see how you look. Look at it like this. If you ever watch sports, the first thing somebody does, let's say after a football game on a Sunday, Monday morning, they're watching film. They're watching film of themselves to see where they can improve and where they can get better. Think of social skills as the same thing. There's absolutely no reason why you can't record yourself, or maybe if you don't want to record yourself, just go look in the mirror in your bathroom and talk to the mirror and practice. There's absolutely nothing wrong and nothing awkward about it, and this is something that actually helped me a lot. Number 2, to be interesting, be interested. Now this is something that Dale Carnegie said in his book, How to Win Friends and Influence People, but what I take away from this is that nobody wants to really be around somebody who only talks about themselves. We've all been around those type of people, and it just gets tiring and boring just to have somebody always talk about themselves. If you're trying to build social skills, it can be easy to just try to do interesting things or try to have interesting stories and then just force those stories, force conversation with people and just talk about yourself, because that's what you think people want to hear. They want to hear something cool about you. Oh, I did this amazing thing this weekend. Oh, I went to this amazing place. I met this amazing person, which is cool. You should definitely have some interesting stuff to talk about, but don't make it all about yourself. Now, this is actually a great tip because it takes the pressure off of you. If you're coming into a situation where you feel like you have to have interesting stories and you have to keep up the conversation and you got to do all the heavy lifting, that pressure is going to be on your shoulders. But when you take that pressure off your shoulders and just realize that you can spend time just being interested in what other people are saying, it makes it much easier because you don't have to bring really much to the table. You just have to bring the ability to listen. The thing is here though, you don't want to be fake interested. It can be very easy just to take this tip and say, all right, next time I'm just going to be interested in this person. Just talk to them, ask them questions, do this and that and this. But what you really need to do is be actually interested, because if you are fake interested, it's really not going to help you in the long run. You might meet somebody this weekend, faking being super interested in them. They tell you a whole bunch of stuff about themselves. Next weekend you meet them and then you ask them a basic question like, oh yeah, where are you from again? well, that person's gonna think, this guy seemed interested. We just met last week. How has he already forgotten? Oh, this guy actually doesn't really care that much about what I have going on. And that relationship or that potential friendship is probably gonna be broken. So the key is to actually be invested and take this opportunity as a growth opportunity and to just improve that aspect of yourself. Third tip I have is actually kind of a few tips in one. It's kind of good value out of this video. I'm giving you more tips than I said. And this is actually from a video I watched a few years back. I don't exactly remember the name, but this is the main takeaways I got from that video, and actually wrote it down in my notes a few years ago, so I went back and found it. But the first one is to grease the wheels early with a compliment. This is a great way to just break the ice if you're meeting somebody new for the first time. Give them a compliment. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. It's great to just break the ice that way because sometimes people don't know what your intentions are coming into any conversation when you first meet them. So just to break that ice with a compliment. Everybody likes a compliment, and it also makes it easier for them to open up as well if you just start off with a compliment. Compliments are free to give, but they have a lot of value in them. So grease the wheels early with just a compliment. Next is one of the most powerful phrases is "that reminds me of." A great way to keep conversation flowing and going is to use the phrase "that reminds me of." So whenever somebody's talking about something, if that conversation seems to be weaning off a bit, or you feel that it could go in a different direction, just use the phrase "that reminds me of." Using the phrase "that reminds me of" is one of the most powerful things you can use in any social settings because it allows the conversation to keep flowing and you can move the conversation along, and the conversation will last much longer rather than just dying after one topic. And the other thing is to ping for mutual topics of interest. This is obviously great when you meet somebody who's interested in the same thing as you. It makes the conversation a million times easier. Always be kind of cognizant of what people say. Obviously pay attention because you can find topics of interest very quickly, and once you find that topic of interest, it becomes great because you can really build a much more deeper and closer bond. And my final tip overall is practice where you can. There's so many places where you can practice on a day-to-day basis that people don't even take advantage of. Now, obviously, you can go to the bar or you can go to an event, you can go to school, work, and talk. Okay, these are the major things, right? But on a day-to-day basis, you can get practice in low-pressure situations. What are these low-pressure situations? For example, going to the grocery store. When you go to the grocery store, rather than going to the self-checkout, go to the checkout with a person at the counter. Why do I say this? Because these people are paid to bring customer service to you. Customer service involves talking to people. So you can go and just practice your speaking skills. You could practice your social skills by having a low pressure conversation with somebody whose technically job it is to talk to you. You just go and have like a basic conversation and you can start building your skills, your social skills little by little and practice. Another great place would be maybe, let's say you're going to the gym, rather than just walking in with your headphones in and scanning, you walk in with your headphones off and you just have a quick conversation with the person at the front desk. And maybe the first time it's awkward and weird, it's just small talk, but all it takes is having small talk with a person like maybe 2 or 3 times before you can have bigger conversations. So maybe the first time at the gym you just talk to them small talk, second time a little bit more, third time a little bit more. By the 4th, 5th time, you could probably consider that person your friend and have like a longer conversation with them. So there's these places, right? The gym, grocery store, customer service, you're calling somebody. If you're at school, talking to your TAs, teachers. If you're at work, talking to your boss, coworker. These are low pressure situations where people are going to be inclined to talk to you, and it's a great way to just practice your skills. At the end of the day, these are the tips that I feel like are easy to implement that you can start doing right now in order to improve your social skills. At the end of the day, the key things are to 1, just get out of your own head, and number 2, just put yourself out there and practice. People don't think you're as weird as you think in your own head. I was somebody who back in high school and back in middle school was super shy, super awkward, could not hold a conversation with anybody. Fast forward to today, I feel like I'm one of the most social people I know. I can have a conversation with anybody at any time. It's helped me so much, and it's helped me meet so many cool people from all around the world. So if you're struggling with your social skills, don't worry, because if you implement these steps and start today, I promise you in no time you'll be one of the most social people. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are on these tips, if you have any other tips that have helped you. Until next time, guys, I'm out of here. Peace.